So my son called me and he's trying to encourage me, and if I was really hopeless, I wouldn't do these devos. If I was really hopeless, I wouldn't try. If I was really hopeless, I would just not do anything. I would just stay in my bed and just cry. But I'm going to try to get started. I'm going to try. I'm doing all I can to fight. I'm doing all I can to be the best that I can be. I'm doing everything I can to figure this out. And my son agreed. He said, yeah, the way that we're approaching this does not seem right, does not seem appropriate. So this poor kid, he's got a porta potty, and the porta potty tipped over, and so now he's got a tipped over porta potty, and he can't seem to get it back upright, and poor guy. It blew over in the wind or something, so for 60 years I've loved the Lord. For 60 years I've been faithful. I'm not going to quit today, but you've had a window now into the discouragement and the despair and the hopelessness that this Department of Children and Family Services can cause. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous what this department thinks that they can do. They're evident of the whole movement of just convict and go away now. No due process, no words, just we have written it. It is written, it is written, it is written, it is written. Without any sort of due process, any sort of arguments, any sort of appeals, any sort of conversation. Without any conversation, just no conversation, just we said so, and that's it. We said so, and that's it. We said so, and that's it. There's no reason to appeal. There's no reason to address. There's no reason to listen. I've been having this conversation for months with these people, and these people don't listen. They sit there and they're like the dog in the window. They shake their heads, and then when they get done, they're it's crazy making. It's absolutely crazy making. So it's a good time to go to the list, go back to my list. Well, I got one thing done today. On my whole list, I did one thing. I went to Ontario and I got bags. I got to return these keys to the extra storage unit. I got to do that. I was going to make these flower boxes, and my doctor said, go ahead and make the flower boxes. Just go ahead and make them. And then when all this works out, then you can give it to the family. Maybe I will. I've got to go to the AutoZone and get a funnel. I've got to go in right now and get this record. I've got to go in and get the Casa del Green record. I got your Buca de Beppo. Whoever the director is at the Department of Children and Family Services, whoever that you are as a director, I never met you in my life. I hope you're happy. This is what you're doing to people's lives every day. And I don't mind if you do this to somebody whose life, there's a child with a broken arm, there's a child that is in the hospital, and there's all kinds of DNA evidence that the child's been assaulted. Then go and use all the power of the law and take care of that child. But when you had children that are happy and healthy and free and joyful, and you come in and you rip their lives to shreds for no reason whatsoever, nothing is wrong. Nothing has been done. There's no reason for panic. And yet, you decide just on your own I remember sitting there with my two stepchildren, and they could not be happier. They wanted to jump on top of me and roll around and Mr. Bob, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you need to. And it doesn't make any difference how much in love my stepchildren are with Mr. Bob. It doesn't matter how many good things I've done to teach him. It doesn't matter how they can buckle their seatbelts now on their own. It doesn't matter how much grace and mercy and kindness and food and provisions and ice creams and trips to different. It doesn't matter. It all matters. It's just up to the department. The department. The almighty department. What they say. Yes, it makes me upset. Yes, it is aggravating. Yes, it is wrong. Because there is more to life than just the department. And I think that people go too far. I mean, it'd be like going to McDonald's and I want to get a cheeseburger. And they say, well, you've got to fill out a financial application. You've got to submit your Social Security card information. You've got to have a live scan. You've got to do a background check on you. I mean, they get to where they're going too far. I've got my $1.10. Let me have my cheeseburger. Oh, no. We have to make sure. We have to be sure. It's going over the line. It's going too far. It's being obsessive. And the department can be overly obsessive. They think they have a right to be God. They're better than God. They know more than God. They know more than anybody. And they know that they know. I mean, for a family that's innocent, for a family that is pure, for a family that's good, for a family that has paid their dues. I have a family member, you're not taking responsibility. You're not taking responsibility. And the fact is that I'm taking all responsibility. I have it all on my shoulders. And I'm fighting. That lady I talked about, Kristen Gilbrand, she quoted Ephesians. She said, when you've done all, put on the armor of God, stand and fight. So I'm fighting with all my might. I'm fighting as best I can. I'm fighting with my mind and my heart, my soul, and my strength. I'm doing all I can to fight. I'm doing all I can to win. I'm doing all I can to educate my family as to right versus wrong, truth versus lies. I mentioned the lack of education. If the department doesn't recognize any growth or any educational achievements, then why have schools? If you can't be educated, you can't possibly change, then what's the purpose of going to school? What's the purpose of having universities? What's the purpose? There's no purpose. But if someone can change, if they can grow, if 10 years isn't enough time, I've referred to on this Devo for the last year and a half, 2 years now, maybe 3 years. I'm not sure how long we've been doing this, a long time. I refer to the crisis of 2008. It's 2018. It's been 10 years, people. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade. If going from kindergarten to ninth grade, if that does nothing, how about going from ninth grade, 10th, 11th, 12th, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, 2 years for the... If nobody changes in 10 years of life, if 10 years of life does not change anything, if 10 years of life is just... Well then, how much education is enough education? How many years of school is enough years? How many years in jail is enough years? For my situation, I did not hire a defense attorney. I went with a public defender. And I lost my misdemeanor trial with a public defender. So I got 30 days in jail. I spent 30 days in jail. That's not good enough. Okay? Make it a year. That's not good enough. 2 years. Not that good enough. Okay? 5 years. That's not good enough. 8 years. That's not good enough. 10 years. That's not good enough. What is going to be good enough? What is the department's point? What are they reaching for? That's not good enough. 20 years. That's not good enough. 28 years, that's not good enough. What do you people want? I know what they want. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. I'm not going to die. I have to be on the smoker's jar. But even if I was dead, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. He might come back. It's a fake. That body's not his body, it's another body. He's hiding. We know it. He's hiding. Find him, Margaret, quick. Nothing is ever good enough for the Department of Children and Family Services. Nothing is ever, ever, ever good enough. Never good enough. They always want more, 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 more. And for what reason? Zero reason. There's no reason. There's no cause. There's no problem in the home. They have brought themselves into a home with no problems. They thought there was a problem. Then they discovered, oh, sorry, that little 3-digit number, that's not important. Well, we found out that that's not an issue. So let's go back and dig in the files and see if we can find something. You hear this good enough? You want to talk to me? You want to rattle my cage? You want to have a conversation? Give me a call. 1-213-713-8954. This Bob. And I'm bummed. I'm upset. But I'm not hopeless. I'm not helpless. I don't believe the barrel of garbage that the department is selling. I don't believe it.